What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be giving you a behind-the-scenes look at one of our private training sessions. So I have a very special guest today. Valor, why don't you tell everybody your name and who you play for?
My name is VALOR SCALES. I play for the OC Buckeyes, and I'm 8 years old.
8 years old, you guys. So we're going to take you behind the scenes, talk about what it takes to become an elite youth quarterback and some things that you guys can take home with yourself to improve your game. Let's get started. One thing I want you to stay right there, don't move. So a lot of times on feet and cement, what's the purpose of feet and cement? Why do we do that?
So then when you turn and throw, your hips go down.
I like that. Also, it's to loosen up something called your trunk, right? And your trunk is essentially like your spine, right? Because when we throw, like if we're really stiff up top, it's hard for me to rotate my shoulders back and get my hips to go before my shoulders, right? So a lot of times on feet and cement, guys have their feet like outside their shoulders, and that makes it hard to rotate. So what I want you to try to do is move your feet. You don't want to be like this, but move your feet a little bit closer together than that, and it should be easier for you to rotate and separate and to drive through. Does that make sense? All right. Good. Does that feel easier? Feel like you have more power too? It's a good job. Good, nice. All right, let's back it up a little bit. We're gonna be doing a drill. So as a quarterback, where does most of our throw power come from?
Mostly your hips.
Hips, good, and legs, right? Hips and legs. So the key, like, do you play any other sports or you just play football?
Just football.
Just-
I used to,
What you used to play?
I used to play basketball and baseball.
Okay, so think about baseball. I'm glad you said that. So if I'm playing baseball, right, and let's say I'm in the batter's box hitting. Let's say the pitcher throws me a pitch. When I step to the pitcher with my front foot, does the bat come through at the same time? No, right? So what do you do when you step to the pitcher? Where do you keep the bat? Back here, right? And then what do you have to do to bring the bat through? Rotate your hips, and then the bat shoots through. So that's pretty much like exactly how we want to throw a football, right? So like if I'm throwing a football in your base, because it starts with your legs. Everything as a quarterback starts with your legs. So where do you think you want the majority of your weight? Your back leg or your front leg?
Mostly the back.
Back leg to start, right? Exactly. So I would say like a position I tell quarterbacks is like you want to be stacked. You want your head, knee, foot on top of each other in a column, and you're nice and light on your front foot. So the reason why we do that is so when I step to the target, I want to try to stay there just for a split second. Because what do you think that helps us do with my shoulders? Bring the ball back, right? And this is a position right here called like dissociation. You don't need to worry about it. It's called like separation. You want your shoulders going opposite of where your feet are going, right? So I step, my shoulders go back, and then just like a baseball swing, what brings the bat through? Your hips, you know what I mean? Hips and legs brings the football through, right? So this drill that we're about to do kind of puts us in that perfect position. And it's an easy warm-up drill that you can do, okay? So all you're gonna do is you're gonna face me. I'm gonna be like 10 yards away. You're gonna be in that perfect base where your weight's back. This drill's called a no stride drill. So your front foot's gonna be opened up to me. Weight's gonna be on your back leg. What you're gonna do is you're already gonna have your hands back like this. So like already preloaded. Eventually we'll come to where your hands are in the center doing the same drill, but we're gonna start out like this. Okay, perfect. So you're gonna be just like this. When I say ball, so I'm gonna flash my hands, say ball, all you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate your hips through to bring the ball through, but you're not gonna move your front foot. And right here, ball. Good, nice, good. Not too bad. One thing I wanna see you do, so I like that your feet aren't even like this. I like that they're here, but think about it. If my foot is pointed like this, do you think my hips can open up? No, right? So I'm okay if your feet are like this, but I want your foot, it doesn't need to be straight on, just a little bit open that allows your hips to rotate through and come through. Does that make sense? Now, one thing I want you to think about doing with your back foot, you do a really good job of pivoting, but remember as a quarterback, it's not just about rotating with your hips. You finishing through and transferring what?
Your power to the front.
Yeah, like your weight, you know what I'm saying? You want to transfer your weight. So when you're like this, I want you to think, instead of just pivoting and staying back, just for right now, it's fine if you do that eventually, but I want you to think about like shifting the weight through and maybe dragging this back foot through a little bit more. Does that make sense? Just to help us get a little more juice on it, okay? Move your foot, keep the toe the same spot, move it a little bit this way. You want it to be facing me. You know what I'm saying? So you're like this, when I throw, I don't want my shoulder to be here and then bring it back. I want my hips to do all the work, and I want my shoulders to stay nice and level so the ball can finish level. Does that make sense? All right. Hey, one thing, get in a stance like you're about to do this drill. Get in a stance. Okay. So like you're actually gonna throw it. So have two hands on the ball like you're gonna throw. Like pretend like you're throwing to me over there, okay? So stay right there. I want you to try to stand up a little bit. Does that make sense? Now the reason why I think that's an issue, because the ball's still missing a little bit to the left, right? When you're hunched over like this, sometimes it makes it harder for us to rotate with just my hips because I'm a little bit forward. So what guys will do is they'll take that shoulder to try to compensate for that, and that's what can make the ball take off left. So if you try to stand up just a little bit, it doesn't need to be awkward or anything like that, but just a little bit and go through, then we're perfect. Does that make sense? All right, let's give it a try. So good posture now. Yep, ready when you are. Nice, good, it's good. Nice, same drill, but start with your hands in the middle of your chest, okay? So you go back with the ball, key on this, because like we were already back in a perfect position on the first one. The key on this one is when you go back with the ball, don't let your knee and your hips start to go forward too soon. You know what I mean? You wanna try to maintain that stacked position and then go through. So your shoulders can actually go back. Does that make sense? All right, good. Nice, foot open, remember to open up the toe. Stay right there for me. Go back to where you were right before that. Right there. Just open up this right there. Okay, does that make sense? All right. There you go, not bad. Good, way to correct it. Good, nice job, good. All right, so dude, we're gonna move over this yellow line. So now, on your guys' team, are you guys mostly out of shotgun?
No.
Under center? Under center, you said?
Yeah.
So if I'm under center, right, most of the time, like if we're throwing like a quick slant and we're under center, what's the drop that we're probably taking on that?
Probably 1 drill.
If it's a real quick slant, for sure. If it's maybe like a 3-step slant, you're probably taking like a 3-step drop. You know what I'm saying? 1, just to get away from the offensive line, to give yourself the ability to be able to see a little bit better, and 2, so you don't get stepped on. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna be working the last 2 steps of a 3-step drop, because a lot of quarterbacks, so like let's say I take a 3-step drop, a lot of quarterbacks struggle when they go back, is they'll go the first step of their 3-step drop, take the second step, plant on the third step, and all of their weight is on their left foot, right? So when all your weight's on your left foot, why is that bad?
Because then you might tip over and fall.
Well, true. And also, like, what can't I do with my shoulders if I'm forward?
You can't bring the ball back.
Exactly. And where's my foot? Is it under me or outside of me?
Out.
Outside. So now my hips aren't involved with the throw. I'm probably gonna lean, and that's gonna make the ball have less power, or maybe miss high or miss low. You follow what I'm saying on that? So this drill automatically forces us to have my back foot in that stacked position when I get to the top of my drop, okay? So all you're gonna do, using the yellow line, I'm gonna be at that yellow line catching for you. It's gonna be a 3-clap drill, okay? So I'm gonna clap on the first clap. Left, right, you're gonna balance on just 1 foot, okay? Now the reason why we're on 1 foot is it's physically impossible to balance on 1 foot if it's outside of you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're on 1 foot, your foot's in a perfect spot. Clap a second time. Your left foot is gonna set down lightly. So now I'm in a perfect base. Clap a third time, throw. Does that make sense? All right, so clap, left, right. Clap, set it down lightly. Clap, throw. Good. Good. Valor, nice job. One thing you have to be careful of. When you're under your frame and your feet are a little bit closer together, what a lot of quarterbacks like to do is they like to take this big step. Yeah, the big stride, right? So why is that a problem?
Because if your legs are too close, you have more power on your legs, so off your back foot.
For sure, right? So when you're really wide like this, you can't really get any power off of here, power from your hips. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in your base, I want you to think this like analogy. Pretend you're standing on the edge of a cliff. And I don't want to step off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? I just want to take a quick step, foot gets down, so my hips can fire through. Does that make sense? All right, so this will be the last like warm-up drill that we do, then we'll start throwing for real, okay? We'll start throwing some routes. So all you're gonna do, last 2 steps of a 3-step, but you're not waiting for my clap, you're just left, right, throw. But it should feel the same with your base, okay? So you're here, it's just gonna be left, right, and then you just throw right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Left, right. Good. Good, dude. Nice. Good. Watch me here. I go left, right. With my weights here, I got nothing from my back hip, and it's really an arm throw. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of quarterbacks, like especially at your age, like you don't want to get that type of bad habit, because especially with how much like younger kids throw these days, like that puts a lot of pressure on your elbow and your shoulder. And I don't want you as you get older to have like really bad like pain in your arm. You know what I'm saying? And arm pain in your arm comes from us just not being able to use my hips correctly, which has a lot to do with my base. You know what I mean? So when you go back, I want you to think, don't be on this inside Adidas logo of your foot. I want you to be on this part of your foot. So when I cross over, left, right, if I'm inside arch, I'm forward. If I'm left, right, outside arch, my shin gets straighter and it makes it easier for my weight to be back, and then I can just throw right off of it. Does that make sense? All right, so be on that outside arch, okay? Left, right, good. Nice, great job. Left, right, good. Nice, good, it's perfect, man, it's a good job. What'd you say? A lot of squirrels? Yeah, I know, you got all these trees up here, dude, it's all right. Don't leave any food out, they'll take the food, bro. We're gonna go work 3 routes. We're gonna throw a seam, we're gonna throw a dig, and then we're gonna throw an out route on the run. So I'm gonna let you get out of the pocket and throw on the run, okay? But we'll get to that when we get there. So a seam, this is gonna be like a cover 3 seam. Do you know what cover 3 is? What's cover 3?
When the corners have deep thirds.
Okay, and how many safeties are there?
1.
Yeah, 1, good, fantastic. I'm glad you didn't say 3, because a lot of guys say 3. 1 safety, 2 corners are bailing, deep thirds. The other safety's probably rolled down. It's probably, like, let's say it's like a 4-4 defensive front. You know what I mean by when I say that? So if I have to play 4 verts, you know what that is, obviously. So outside receivers going vertical, 2 slots running seams, right? So I probably don't want to throw the outside. Why?
Because the corners might take it, so then I have to see.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, the corners are bailing, so we probably don't even have the fade. You know what I'm saying? So we want to work one of the seams, like you said. So we're going to be working a 3-step drop, just like what we were working on over there. But on the first step of your drop, because we have 1 high safety, what's important about your eyes?
Look at the safety to see which side he's going to.
True, yeah, I could see which side he's going to, or I could like screw with him and try to get him to go to this side if I'm throwing the left, you know what I mean? Because we're gonna start on the left side. So maybe when I drop back, my eyes are looking right over the safety's outside shoulder to try to get him to just move a little bit this way. So that's on the first step of my drop. Then what we were just working on, that second and third step, we go crossover 2, your eyes can start to get back over to the other seam, plant on the third step. Where should your third step be? Stacked, good, fantastic. And then when I'm in this stack position, I let it rip. Now, do you want to float it or put it on a line?
Mostly like put it on the line.
On a line, right? Because if we float it, who could come over? Safety, and he's either gonna kill that guy or he's pick, which is worse, you know what I'm saying? So all you're gonna do is you're gonna be right here. First rep, I'm gonna have you pause on the third step. I'm gonna clap, just to make sure your weight's getting back. Last 3 reps, because we're doing 4 reps, you could do whatever you could throw when you're ready, okay? So it's gonna be set, go. You're going 1, 2, 3, you're gonna pause. I'm gonna clap, and then throw right there. Does that make sense? All right, and we're throwing this way. Val, we're throwing this way. Good, good, it's good. Maybe a little too much touch for cover 3, because we don't want that safety to make a play. So reason why I felt like we threw it a little high, base was great. You're a little bit slouched, right? So if you're slouched like this, remember we tend to go up, and that's what makes me go high. Hey, if I'm here, I could just rotate and shoot through right there rather than having to go up and down. You feel me on that? All right, let's try it again. 1, 2, good. Hey, what? Good ball, but what'd you do? You hitched, right? Yeah, hitched. Remember, you gotta think your head. If you could think like, okay, think about your ear, your right ear. Yeah. You want your right ear to be outside your right knee. So I go back, 1, 2, 3. Not a ton, I don't need to be like this, but just a little bit outside your knee. So now your foot is under you, and I can just throw right off the third step. You feel me on that? Yeah. All right, let's roll, man. All right, here we go, dude. Let's give it a try. Good. Bad ball. And listen, spirals are overrated. I'm just kidding, but I I will say, better ball, had enough velocity, was in a good spot. You were just a little bit slouched again. You know what I'm saying? So remember, like if I'm slouched over, it might pop up, but if I just try to rotate straight through, that might make my elbow low. And that's why that ball comes off a little funky. You know what I'm saying? So I need you to think like, you ever worn a tie before, like a suit?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're in the mirror, putting on a suit, and you gotta tie your tie. You wanna make it tighter so you look good. You're not like this, put it on. You stand up as straight as you can and put it on. You know what I'm saying? So when you're at the top of your drop, put a tie on. Be nice and tall with your chest and throw. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, man. Yes! Hey, that's perfect, dude, that's perfect. One more just like that, okay? One more just like that. Good. Listen, hey, ball didn't spin the greatest, but I could live with that throw. It had velocity, it's in a good spot. You're not staring me down the whole time. It's a good job, that's totally fine. Now, spiral purposes, let me see your grip, how you're gripping it. All right, your grip's fine. I would just say, maybe let me hold it real quick. If you're trying to get a little more spin on the ball, because I don't like messing with the grip, because everybody's got their own grip. If you could put a little bit more pressure on the ball with your index finger, because that's your spiral finger, that might help it come off your hand a little bit tighter if you're struggling with spin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, dude. So we're gonna be over here. Now, we're gonna throw a 10-yard in, okay? But we're gonna do a little pocket movement on it, all right? So if I say, so you're gonna take the same 3-step drop, right? I'm gonna give you a climb call. So I'm gonna say climb. When I say climb, you're gonna do a specific pocket movement back here in the pocket, okay? So the first part's 2 movements combined into one. First movement is like we're getting C-gap pressure. Can you tell me where the C-gap is? Yeah, like outside of who?
The B-gap.
Well, correct.
But outside my tackle.
Outside, there you go. Yes, good. So outside your tackle, right? And then, so you're taking a 3-step drop. If you're getting C-gap pressure as a quarterback, what should I probably do? Step up, right? Then we're gonna be working A-gap pressure. So A-gap is between who? What offensive lineman?
My center.
Yes, and?
My guard.
Guard, fantastic. So if I'm getting pressure right there, what should I do here? Move back this way, and then throw the dig, exactly. So that's the movement we're doing, okay? So I'm gonna give you a climb call, up 1, drift back. So you're taking a 3-step drop, I'm gonna yell climb. It's up, back, throw, right there. Climb, up, back, phenomenal. Does that make sense? All right. Climb, up, back. All right, hey, it's not bad. I'm not mad at it, because that's essentially right. It's just not exactly what we're working on, you know what I'm saying? Because you will have to do that type of throw in a game, like, but what we're trying to work on is staying in your base and throwing here. So what you did is you went climb, up, and kind of ran at me, which is fine, that's not wrong. In a real game, that's cool. But I want to have multiple, like the guy with the tool belt, I want to have multiple tools. I don't want to just be able to throw on the run, you know what I'm saying? So what I want you to do is I want you to be here, here, throw, right from your base. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Climb, up. Good, okay, I see the issue. Try. We'll fix it right now. So when you move, as a quarterback, when you're moving in the pocket, like you ever surfed before? Yeah. You ever rid a skateboard before?
Yes.
Okay. On a skateboard, do you ever want your feet to get this close together?
No.
Or cross?
No, because then you can't pedal.
And you'll probably fall, you know what I'm saying? Because you're off balance, right? So same thing in the pocket, right? I want to be on my surfboard or my skateboard the whole time. So what you're doing is you're going up, and then when you're moving this way, you're kind of like getting crossed with your feet like this, and then you have to throw, right? We never want to be in this position when I throw, because to be able to take a step, I got to probably take a long step. Yeah. And I'm just not the most balanced from there. So what I want you to think about is I'm on my skateboard the whole time. You go up this way, when I go back this way, I stay on my skateboard and throw. Does that make sense? Climb. Yeah, it's a great job, man. Climb. Woo! Nice ball. Good shot, man. That's good. How you feel good on that? All right, let's move on. We're gonna throw on the run, okay? You're gonna take a 3-step drop, but this is gonna be B-gap pressure. So where's the B-gap?
Outside my guard.
And inside who?
My tackle.
Tackle. So line up like you're in the B-gap right there. So you're gonna take a 3-step drop. We're working an out route, okay? So walk at me. I'm gonna yell escape. When I say escape, we're gonna be working a little jab, try to get this guy to crash, spin out. I say ball, we just throw on the run. So you're listening for escape, then you're listening for ball. Does that make sense? So walk it, escape, yup, and out of there and throw. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want like a little, like you're working a release. That's what I want you to do. Like I want you to be here, it's here. Then we're out.
Then I really won't sell it.
Yeah, you won't sell it. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably gonna be a big dude who's probably not as athletic as us. He's probably gonna be fat and slow. So he probably won't be able to make a play if we sell it. You know what I'm saying?
But
All right.
I have the best line in the country.
You have the best line in the country? All right. Well, if you go up against the best D line in the country, that's a different story.
My second group of line is not that.
Well, there you go then. Escape. Good. Ball. Woo, nice ball. Good rep, dude.
I'm gonna be the Buckeye for the rest of my life.
Buckeye for the rest of your
I
life.
wish they have like a Buckeye team in the NFL.
I'm trying to think, do they?
No.
Nah, they don't, huh?
They only have 32 teams.
Yeah, dude. Maybe you could add one. Maybe that'll be your thing. Big, little, little. Nice throw. Good shot. Just make sure we keep thinking about posture, right? Posture, posture, posture. All right. We're going to be mimicking like I'm getting C-gap pressure now. So now if I'm getting pressure outside my tackle, what do I have to do?
Go up.
Step up and then throw. So when I say drift, it's drift back, then step up. Okay, does that make sense? All right.
Ready? Go.
Drift. Drift. Nice. Good shot, dude. Nice ball.